Welcome back to the Anthony Spade channel. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that share button, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Okay, today we're going to be talking about why divorce rates are so high. All right? In the world that we live in today, divorce rates are continuing to grow at an alarming rate. Some people are still saying 50%, but reality is still showing us that it's at 80%. Most individuals now are just living for self. Not too many people are living to actually build anything with anyone. And a lot of people that are in relationships feel like they're oppressed because of the things that they're seeing on the internet from people who are not in relationship, portraying a persona of living their best life. Majority of these divorce rates are strictly coming from personas that women feel like they need to fulfill, or men that feel like they need to fulfill. Everyone feels like they can do better, which is causing it to grow. Not only is it happening in the United States, but divorce rates are increasing in every country, all right? And today we're going to talk about what are some of those reasons that divorce rates are increasing at an alarming rate. All right, we're going to talk about compromise. A lot of people nowadays do not want to compromise. All right, everyone has their own thoughts, they have their own feelings. Everyone's becoming independent thinkers. What people want is they want someone else to adjust to their emotions. Not too many people are willing to adjust themselves to someone else's emotion. So you have a whole bunch of people that want to be treated a certain way, but they're unable to compromise to treat people the way that they want to be treated. It's a narcissist way of thinking. It's a narcissist way of feeling. And this is what's causing divorce rates to increase due to self-love and not the ability to love someone else. All right, next we're going to talk about arguments. Everyone is starting to argue more, not only in marriages, but you have people that are arguing day-to-day life. Arguing is becoming a way of life. Even if you look at the internet, most of these clicks and views come from drama. Drama draws in the most clicks and views. Arguments are drawing in the most clicks and views. So you have people that are in marriages that spend more time arguing and fighting in the relationship versus actually enjoying their marriage or enjoying their relationship. You're seeing most couples, it's like they're putting on a display of what they see on TV, but they're doing it in regular life. They're doing it in broad daylight at the grocery store. They're doing it everywhere you go. You're watching couples argue proudly in front of people as if the cameras are on. So in relationships, people are spending a lot of time arguing with each other, playing the breakup and makeup game versus actually being in a relationship and building something with each other. So what does this lead to? Once the show is over, once there's no more to argue about at all, then the relationship ends and you have to find a new partner in order to keep up new drama with. So it's like reality show to reality show to reality show. The same thing you're seeing stars on the reality show go from one to a whole nother reality show. That's how people are doing in their relationships. They're going from one relationship full of drama to the next relationship that's full of drama, right? Next, we're going to talk about jobs and independence. A lot of divorce rates are increasing because both man and woman are working jobs. So they don't even have time to love each other. They don't even have time to even build anything with each other because both of them are competing for materialistic things. Women are going to work just to have their freedom to buy what they want to buy. Women and men are both thinking individually when it comes to the money. Nobody is strategizing to put their money together to create a business to actually grow. See, back in the day, women were doing that. Women would get behind a man and support their man on a business to help grow together. But nowadays, if you help a man build a business together, other women are going to look at women as being weak because she technically doesn't have it on her own. See, women want to be able to live in a house that a man buys for her, but she also want to be able to say, I can go buy my own house and I don't need you. That's the trend that we're under right now. It's individuality within the relationship which causing them to grow apart because both of them are trying to be the best at their job, which creates an income that's going to give them materialistic things. Secondly, face-to-face interaction. A lot of people nowadays, neurological system is not programmed to face-to-face interaction anymore. So you even have more people that are walking around day to day that are not even speaking to each other because everyone is speaking through the cell phone. They're relying on the cell phone. This is happening in marriages. A lot of men and women, when they're not around their spouses, they're addicted to their cell phone. They're addicted to the images in their cell phones. In relationships, couples go out to eat and look at their cell phones. They lay in bed and look at their cell phones. They sit in the living room with each other watching TV, but also watching the cell phone. Everywhere people go, the cell phone has allowed them to create an entire lifestyle that they pay attention to, that they're forced to, that they pay attention to, that the neurological system relies them to look at every day. So if you're looking at 4 or 5 women that are online and conversating with them inside of your private chat rooms and it starts emotionally taking on to you, you're not going to pay attention to what your wife does and say. Because anything that she does and say, you're just going to be telling her what she want to hear just so you can get back to your chat room, just so you can get back to your video games, just so you can get back to the thing that's online or technology-wise that's keeping you distracted to have you feel like a life. As long as your mindset is actually inside the technology, then you're never gonna feel like that you have a connection with someone because you're finding happiness in technology and not into face-to-face interaction with another person. At the rate that we're going now in life, it's gonna come to the point where the style and the phase is just gonna be single. Married people and people that are in relationships are going to be depressees because they're going to continue to look at their phone and they're going to continue to think that they're missing out on something. But it may be kids, it may be a job, it may be a way of living that forces them to stay in a relationship. So relationships, the longer they continue to go, the more it feels like a prison. The more it feels like you can't get out. And the reason why people feel that way is because they're constantly looking at the internet and they're set to believe that the grass is greener on the other side. Next, we're going to talk about grass being greener on the other side. A lot of people think that the grass is always greener on the other side and that they have infinity people to choose from, especially a woman. See, a woman would rather date 100 guys and not build anything with one because she's scared that she's gonna miss out on that prince that she's promised throughout the fairy tale. But what women are not realizing is you would never make a woman happy. If you go and look at Meghan Markle, she just had a wedding that all women wanted. And after that wedding, she didn't even appreciate the fact that she was a princess. She pulled out to go be a regular person after she had the princess wedding. You have to understand, women are never happy. It's an ongoing thing. Once you make them happy at one thing, they're going to create something else that makes them miserable that you have to fix again. And this is the problem that's happening with women, is that they feel like there's always a better guy. There's always a better guy. There's always a better guy because I have 100 guys inside of my DM that want to get with me. But what she's not realizing is those 100 guys in her DM are low quality men, but she's using their attention to build her own ego up to make her bigger than what she is. The worst thing that a woman can do is to walk around with her head high and everybody else not see it. That's what makes people look at women very delusional. It's the simple fact they continue to pretend to be a princess being worshipped by invisible people. Right? Next, the world is just becoming weaker. Everyone's falling into a victimhood mindset. And they're using these victimhoods actually inside of their relationship. Everyone's competing to see who has the worst problems, who has the worst issues, who has the worst temperament, who has been through the worst problems. The person that's been through the worst trauma in their life wins. The world caters to the person that's been through the least trauma. Now, in Hollywood, what I notice about Hollywood and a lot of people in Hollywood, and I've been around that scene a lot, is that everybody that makes it, that's successful in Hollywood, has a traumatic past. Something has happened to them very bad that they admitted to. I used to say to myself, like, why do so many people in these industries, they're either gay, they're either transsexuals, or the women have been raped or have been molested. Everybody that you meet in Hollywood has had these problems and they prosper because we live in a victimhood mindset. So with us having such a victimhood mindset in the world, women have victimhood themselves inside of their own marriage with false oppression. So they're becoming weaker. They feel like it's painful to be in a relationship. The same way that a man starts adjusting to a wife where he's like, man, I just got to go along with it, or I'm going to hear her mouth later. Now, even when women are winning in the relationship, even when they're in control of a relationship and a man's not treating them bad, they still come up with false oppression to be mad at him. And it's always the guys that are actually trying to be the best husband that catch the runt. It's always the guys that's trying to be the best father that catch the runt. It's always the guys that's trying to be the best man that catches the runt of a woman. It's always those guys that's going to get divorce papers. It's always those guys that's going to get their car and windows bust out. It's always those guys that are going to have to go to divorce court and they're going to get hit on child support. It's always the guys trying to be the best father and the best man that catches the brunt of it. Divorce rates are increasing because men and women are desensitized to each other. Even man to woman. Most of these guys nowadays can't even stand being next to a woman. But every woman can stand being next to anybody that gives her attention because she's under the delusion that there's a world out there where she's going to win and just be this ultimate princess. And this is why divorce rates are going high, because of delusion of technology. This is Anthony Spade. Get in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Hasta la vista.